Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I have been making my own rolled oats right here in my kitchen. So about a month or so ago, I had a subscriber who suggested that I check out the Biblical Nutritionist here on YouTube. And so I checked out her channel. I've been watching a ton of her videos, and I have been so interested in all of the information that she has to offer because my husband and I have been on a biblical eating journey for the past few months. And so anything that I can pick up or glean from someone really makes me feel like I am researching as much as possible, and I learn something new with almost every article that I read or video that I watch. So there was a particular video on her channel that stood out to me that had me doing a ton more research, and that was about oats and how the difference between store-bought oats and freshly rolled oats are just night and day. Now, in just a minute, I am going to put up a picture here on the screen to show you some information about how it really impacts the nutrition of the oats when they process them so that you can buy them on the store shelf. So that's going to be really interesting because for me, I never really thought about the oats. I'm very into, as you well know, grinding my own wheat berries for flour because once you grind them, the nutrition starts to drop significantly. I never really put two and two together and thought about oats, or is it one and one together? Whatever. And I didn't think about the oats, how that when you take the groat and mash it out, that it bursts it like it kind of like it does the wheat, and then the nutrition starts to fall. So she really got me thinking, and I did a lot of research, and after that I decided to order a flaker. Now, I ordered from her website so that I could support her ministry because it is her ministry to teach people about eating a biblical diet, and I wanted to make sure that I was supporting that. So this little gadget is a flaker, and it's not just for oats. You can use a flaker to flake ancient wheat, which is so exciting because you can mix it with the oats, but you can flake kamut, einkorn, modern day wheat. The only difference is when you're going to be flaking wheat, you want to put it in like a mason jar, a cup of wheat to 1 teaspoon of water, shake it really well, and just leave it on the counter overnight. That just softens it a little to make a nicer flake. I even do this with the oat groats because it just makes a more plump flake. So the one that I have is from Mock Meal. Mock Meal is a pretty well-known company as far as grain mills go, and they have really nice warranties, which I find important with my appliances in the kitchen. So this has a good warranty on it. Now, one thing to note is that this little flaker that I have is electric, and it has a DC motor. So I actually contacted the company when I first got it because I was confused. When you turn it on, it takes it a couple seconds to actually start working, but that's normal because it's a DC motor and it should last a very, very, very long time. And I'm really excited to have it. So I'm going to show you this little machine in action and show you what the oat groats look like and how the oats look when they come out. Okay, so here's the flaker that I got. It's pretty simple. The flakes will come out here, so you need to put a container down here. There's a little lid here to cover the hopper. You'll put your oat groats in here. There is a power switch on the back. Now, to use this, all that you have to do is take the lid off, put something underneath to catch it. Now, I like to hold whatever I'm catching the oats with kind of up toward the top so that none of them get on the counter. So these are oat groats, and you just pour it into the hopper. So you'll flip the switch, and then in a second or two, it will actually come on. All right, and then we have our flaked oats. So what is the difference between store-bought rolled oats and freshly rolled oats? Well, there's a big difference in the nutritional value, as you're going to see by this slide that I'm going to put here on the screen. This actually comes from Mock Mill's website, where they had it tested to see what the difference was, and there was quite the difference. There was a huge drop in a couple of B vitamins, and the most important that we're going to look at, as you'll see on the other side, is lipase. That is an enzyme that helps you to digest fat and to absorb the nutrients from the oats that you're eating. So if that is significantly dropped, you're not going to digest the oats properly. And that's what's happening with a lot of people who find that they have a hard time digesting oats from the store. I'm included in that. I had a problem with it, but I can tell you with freshly rolled oats, I have no problem whatsoever. So as you can see by this slide, the vitamins dropped quite a bit, because if you can read at the top part of that, it says that commercially, industrially produced oats for the store shelf, they are superheated, 212 degrees, and then they're hit with hot steam, and then they're dried, and then they're heated again. And so you can imagine that all of this heating and processing is going to deteriorate a lot of the nutrients that are available in the oats. And so I just found this really, really interesting. And I will actually leave a link to this particular web page on the Mock Mill's website so that you can do your own research on that as well. All right, so now I want to talk about the difference in how it tastes and all of that. I asked my husband the other day, I said, I'm going to be doing a video about these freshly rolled oats, and I want to hear what you think about them. Like, how would you explain to someone the difference between the store-bought oats and the freshly rolled oats? And number one, he said, these taste clean. They taste fresh. And that there's a difference. You can tell it right away that it is not stale at all. It doesn't have any type of bitterness at all. So tasty. He also said it's the best tasting oatmeal that he's ever had. And also that it holds him longer than store-bought oatmeal. So that stands to reason. If the freshly rolled oatmeal is more nutritious, it is going to satisfy you for longer than store-bought oats. I know when I have eaten store-bought oatmeal in the past, about an hour, and I'm hungry already, and I know that's crazy, but it just didn't hold me that long. But we are finding that eating it, the freshly rolled, that it actually holds us for quite a while. So that is kind of the difference. They're very hearty, very filling. The first day that we ate them, I got out what I normally would get out to eat for a bowl of oatmeal, and I barely was able to finish it because it was so filling, and it made a big difference in how my wheels started turning. So this is how real oats are supposed to be. Not that the store-bought ones are fake, but I mean fully nutritious oats. And I'm very happy, very happy that I made the decision. I want to make it clear that I am not affiliated with Mock Mill in any way. I'm just encouraging you to look at flakers in general. I chose to order the Mock Mill because that was what was on the Biblical Nutritionist website, and like I said before, I wanted to support her in what she's doing with her ministry. But there are a lot of different ones. If you just Google Oat Flaker or Grain Flaker, there are several. Como makes one. Some of the mixers have attachments that you can put on them that also flake. So as long as you get one and you start doing it, then you'll get all of the health benefits. I ordered my oat groats from Pleasant Hill Grains. I'll leave a link for their website in the description box below as well. All right, so with all that being said, I just want to say, I have found it very important in the past few months to go back to the whole foods like they were in the Bible. I know that our food has been adulterated so much that it is almost impossible to find foods that even are recognizable to what they would have used. But we do have access to ancient grains, ancient wheats, such as einkorn, kamut, spelt, emmer. These were grains that would have been used in ancient times. So we can get those, and we can also, instead of buying something that has been already broken and placed in a container and has sat on the store shelf for months, sometimes years, before it is even consumed by you or your family, we can take back control. We can buy the whole ingredients, like with the oats, buy the groats. Groats are all you have to have to make oat flakes. Or you can flake einkorn, or you can flake spelt or kamut. So many ways you can do that. I think that it is important for us, those of you who are like-minded with me about eating more biblically and more whole foods instead of processed foods, it's important that we source the tools and the ingredients to make sure that the food that we are feeding the body that God created, we're feeding it the food the way that He intended it to be. Does that mean that we're going to be perfect at it? No. Does that mean that all the foods that we eat are biblical foods exactly? No, because they've just changed them so much. It is so hard to find everything. But we can find a lot of ancient grains, millet, buckwheat, barley. There are so many things that we can buy in whole forms and grind them or flake them and have them the way that they would have been eaten in ancient times. So I hope this video was educational for you and that you got some good information and got you thinking about what you're eating, and make sure that we are making every stride to put the most nutritious foods on the table for our families as possible, so that we can be about God's business in good health and vigor. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Now, if you enjoy videos on cooking from scratch, gardening, food preservation, homesteading, and biblical eating, I would appreciate it if you consider hitting the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I make at least 2 new videos a week and sure would like to have you here. I'm going to link the Biblical Nutritionist website down below where you can find this flaker if you're interested in it. It's the best price on the internet that I found for that particular flaker. Also, check out our website at therosehomestead.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions or you flake your own oats, I would love to hear your experience as well. All right, we will see you on the next video.